All right, traders, welcome to today's recap. This is Christian from Hertz Tribeca Trade Group, and it is Halloween, Thursday, October 31st. And of course, everything that we're going through is for information purposes only, not giving out any advice or recommendations. And we have one more day of the week. Don't forget, we have jobs data that comes out tomorrow. But a long week. These earnings weeks, these big earnings weeks, along with FOMC kind of wrapped up. It it has been a very long week. So it actually feels like Friday. A lot of data basically coming out this week. So we had a little bit of slight market volatility. Remember, we've been, moving pretty nicely to the upside. That, keep in mind that markets don't move in a straight line all in one, direction. So there will be some bumps along the way, and so on and so forth. So why I say this, number one, again, this is a little bit after the fact, but just don't get super complacent with the market, especially if you're trading options. You could really have some whippy days, depending on how you're being positioned, from one day to the next, and making sure, like, in yesterday's video, I said, hey, I'll continue to kind of follow this move higher. I think a lot of people, by the way, so real nice close. It was kind of a dud of a day, till about 10 because we went straight down basically till 10:30 and just floundered around for the most part. And then what I'm particularly good at, I'll give myself a little pat on the back, is just kind of waiting for things to kind of turn around. I've got multiple different VIX instruments up. What I watch for is what bonds are doing, what gold is doing. We look at market breadth, and of course we look at value areas and so forth. So I'm very good at, like, spotting a little bit of turns in the market. And one of the things I noticed was that breadth was getting a little bit stronger, and at the same time we went into value, and may have been a little bit of month-end positioning here that kind of gave us this big green bar here at the end of the day. But that's fine. I would rather have us close like this. And there was some opportunities of what we did. But let me just finish my market message here. Let's go to the daily chart for a minute here in S&P. I guess you could maybe say bearish engulfing on this. I think a lot of people have been saying, it's so funny the way the market moves, right? Everybody will always ask, well, complain about, well, we can't break out to new highs. And then when we do break out to highs, then there's people complaining about, PE ratios, and, oh, geez, I'm waiting for a retest back. It's funny. It's just no one's ever seems to be really, thrilled. I, for one, very excited that the market is breaking out of a range. We'll see what we do here. Maybe we do retest back. I think that's perfectly normal. I, you know, didn't like a few things that happened in the market, but as I said in the midday video, which I try to provide almost every day of the week, when there's really something interesting. But I said I don't like what's happening with the small caps. Well, lo and behold, small caps only finished down 0.5%. One of the things that I said again in the midday video was I would like to see us, rather than completely get rejected and go back down like we've been doing, right? Up, hang out, down, up. So maybe we can actually put in a bull flag after this move, and it looks like we're going to be opening up right around the top of value, new value area for all the indices, all the stocks. Very exciting, of course, monthly bars as well that you can look at tonight. But it looks like we're going to be opening right at top of value. That's not a bad scenario, because right now we're making a lower high for IWM, and I think we're going to need these small caps to kind of break out too with the rest of this market. I think they're going to have to participate. So I would keep a close eye on that. I would keep a close eye on whether or not we kind of come in here and hold. That would be fine. I think there's nothing wrong with that, as we're kind of starting to kind of, can I say, get through earnings? We're getting close, but man, a lot of earnings reports. So all in all, not that bad. The one thing that's a little bit I thought concerning as well, is how strong the bonds have been. But they're basically, it may be a false breakdown here. Maybe they chop around. We'll see. The last 2 days, very strong. TLT up about 2.7%. but did close a little bit off the highs. So we'll be watching that. We'll keep an eye on this. I could probably draw this, extend to the right here. And this would be resistance for value, but it looks like we're going to open up right in the middle of value area. So again, we'll keep an eye on that. Of course, with headline stuff, bonds do usually catch a bid, but this was really good. We haven't really seen, these are two of the biggest green candles since basically beginning of month, I guess, where we saw, and then we stalled out there. Uh, what else in terms of sectors? Like I said, a lot of things improved. So the small caps weren't that bad, down that much. The VIX up 8%. Today, again, coming from a really low level, the VIX closed at 1322, closed off the highs. I do get nervous once the VIX goes below 12, which is what we saw yesterday. The other thing that I had mentioned, and if you remember, this, but I was looking for, I do have this little VXX trade on, where I have it's just a call spread, and I set this up for for an FOMC trade, thinking that the VIX would rise. And what I did was I went back and looked at every FOMC meeting this year, and the VIX actually went higher after the meeting. In the couple days that follow. So it seems like, and I don't really have a reason for this, because normally what happens is the VIX is supposed to climb into an event and then sell off after the event. The kind of once the cat is out of the bag, so to speak. But what we've been seeing with these FOMC meetings is that the VIX actually goes up afterwards for a couple days afterwards. So again, something to keep your eye on. I sent a whole tweet out about that, I think on Monday or Tuesday. So again, I think just kind of sit tight, just kind of hang out with what the market is doing. I'm on the long side, but always careful not to get over the positioning over the tips of your skis and so forth. Couple trades that we did today, really nice. Well, I shouldn't say that. Not every trade I put on. The first trade that I put on did not work, which was Nike. But Lily, real nice move until about the end of the day. Nice find that relative strength, and that's been all week with the pharma names and healthcare names. The name that did not work for me is Nike. It did come back at the close, so I'm in next week's calls, so it's got a chance to come back. I did not really do anything. I added to the trade somewhere around here, so it's basically back to my second ad. This is a funny one. UNH. I was just looking kind of for an end of the day scalp, and I got out. I think I got in like right in here, and got out here. Was happy with the profits, and this thing just went nuts, along with the market going into the close. Again, this feels like looking at those two stocks, Lilly getting hit at the close and UNH going up. Definitely felt like some end of month positioning. All right, so that's about it. What else do we see in terms of option activity? We saw some EM calls. Again, a lot of earnings related stuff going up. A little bit of ATVI calls. This ATVI looks really close to a breakout. If you go to the daily chart and kind of see what's going on here, this thing's pretty close to moving. Couple names that reported after the close. FTNT up nicely. I'll tell you, some winners, some losers, but maybe watch Cyber tomorrow. I think that'll be an interesting name to watch for tomorrow. It's kind of shown a little bit of life here. Maybe it could break out of this range before earnings. These names have a habit of doing that. This Melly's all over the place after hours. It kind of looked like it was doing maybe a false move there. It's now just up a little bit, basically where it was midday. Look at this Arista Networks. Absolutely smoked. You cannot guide down. This thing is down to 186 from 243. It's a couple times this name has gotten hit. Pins also down a bit. So some names up, some names down. All right, guys, have a great night. See you tomorrow for the jobs report. Oh, make sure that you get your stock contest picks in. If you're not familiar with this, if you're not a member, every month we do a stock contest. It's like a buy and hold. The winner gets a free month of the trading room. It's a fun contest that we do every month. I have to think about my pick tonight. Guys, have a great night. See you tomorrow.